I want you to imagine a reality where every single probability is a possibility. Let me repeat that. I want you to imagine that anything you desire in life will fulfill and manifestate itself in some form of way. And as bizarre as this theoretical concept sounds, it's actually so true. And so let me explain. Because you guys have probably heard the idea of multiple universes, or in religious literature, like things being written for you. And essentially, it's basically all the same. So in this specific video, I'm gonna try my best to explain a very complex theory and how that can eventually provide you the understanding of how the mechanics of the universe works. Because my point of this of explaining this theory is I want you to use it for you so that you can accomplish anything what it is in your life, whether you want to become a millionaire, an actor, a politician, a student, a doctor, a soldier, like whatever it is. If you apply this theoretical framework, I can guarantee that it will become and manifestate into its reality. And so let's actually jump into the theory. So you guys have probably heard about Albert Einstein, and his theory of relativity. And do not click off because I told you something that is so fundamentally basic, like explaining what time is, and is perhaps not the answer that you're looking for, but you have to understand what this is and essentially why this is so important. Because theory of relativity basically fundamentally describes the relationship of time and us as a mass, as a matter. And I'm not going to explain the astrophysics behind it, but the point is that time is relative. So that means it's fixated on a few factors such as the gravity and the mass and perhaps other factors that I'm not aware about. But the point is that time works in a linear fashion. So it basically looks like this. And unless you have a gravitational force of a black hole, for most of us humans, for most of us individuals, time is quite relative. So it's quite, in arbitrary sense, quite similar. So we all experience time the same way. And it goes linear. And so that is the first theory I want you to understand. The second theory is I want you to understand how energy works. Because again, as cliche as it sounds, energy is basically a moving particle. And energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Neither created nor destroyed. So what that essentially means is energy is always there. It's always around us. It's always, like, wherever we go, energy is always there, and we can't get rid of it. And so what we as an individual should try or want to do with energy, and at least to fundamentally understand how energy can benefit us, we want to use energy for us. And so basically, now let me explain because this is a bit complicated, is this describes the quantum theory. And so let me just, quantum theory, theory of relativity. I'm not too sure if I spelled that correctly. So theory of relativity explains basically the cosmos, gravity, time, and from an astrophysical perspective, how the motion of the galaxy and the universe works. So just imagine it as like as a macro perspective. And so quantum theory focuses on the little particles, like the little atoms, the protons and neutrons, which you guys probably learned in physics. And so quantum theory is basically that. And so the third theory, and it's probably a theory that you've heard of, is the combination of both of them. And so what is the combination of both? And that would be the string theory. And so I'm not an astrophysicist or an astroscientist, with that being said. But string theory is basically a combination of these two. So it's trying to find the correlation, it's trying to find the relationship between the theory of relativity and the quantum theory. And so if you watch, I don't know, YouTube videos or research papers of what string theory is, and basically how it looks like, it just looks like like a string. It literally just looks like a string, and hence why it's called string theory. But the point is that the way string theory works is it vibrates, so it constantly vibrates. And what these vibrations are and how they look like and how these strings specifically look like, I don't know for sure. But what I know is that these strings vibrate, and they vibrate according to energy. And so now we're getting a little bit closer. And so here's the hypothesis, that the energy that vibrates the string theory, that manifests the reality you set for yourself. And now this is the weird thing. So as we know, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, because of the gravitational pull we have on Earth and the way we basically live our life, time is quite fundamentally linear. And so we have the seconds, the hours, the years, etc., etc. And so the absurd thing about the string theory is that the vibration and energy is, I would say, quite irrelevant to the time. And so let me explain how this works. Is because you have to imagine, and I want you to imagine it this way, that because we live in a three-dimensional plane, or three-dimensional reality, we got time. And so how does the fourth dimension look like? And the thing is, it doesn't really matter how it looks like, because you have to understand what's more important. And so you have to imagine that fourth dimension is every future possibility. And so like you can call it whatever you want, if it's the multiple universe, or like if you're religious, then like your destiny or faith, or like everything, you know, for example, I'm Muslim, so everything that is written for you. So how do I call it? Faith, I guess, destiny. And so to put it in abstract terms, imagine the fourth dimension. It's like how do I explain it? It's like a machine that constantly listens to you. I know this is crazy, but imagine the fourth dimension as, okay, let's just to put it into conceptual terms, imagine this is the fourth dimension. Just imagine this little dot is the fourth dimension. And so within that little dot exists every possible reality of your life, whether it's you becoming a millionaire, heck, even a billionaire, if it's you becoming a politician, you becoming a doctor, and even on the negative side, if it's you becoming a total failure, you become poor, you becoming fat, lazy, like every single possibility, every single possible reality exists within that abstract, within that little fourth dimensional concept that I've illustrated for you. And so within the three-dimensional, and imagine this is you now. So within the three-dimensional reality in which we all currently live right now, this is you. Okay, and so in just a moment now, I'll explain how all of this is related and how you can basically manifest a reality that you want. And so if this is the third dimension, and this is the string theory, and the string theory is basically driven through vibrations and energies, the way it works is the following. Because every possible reality exists already, you need to manifest a reality by providing it vibrations. And so what is vibrations? Vibrations is like energy, or in simple terms, action. So any type of action you do. And action can begin with thoughts, but it has to also be like the physical action of actually doing it. And so imagine, yeah, you do these actions, or basically commit to the vibrations, and the universe listens. It literally listens. Like, it's literally listening to you right now. And so the universe listens, which is, as I mentioned earlier in abstract terms, the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension literally unfolds that particular reality to you. Like, imagine, like just imagine it for a second. You ask the universe for a particular reality, and eventually that reality unfolds and manifests in itself towards you. It just opens up towards you. For example, if you have the monetary goal to become a millionaire, like by the end of, okay, let's not use by the end, by, I don't know, like on a personal level, you would like to become a millionaire. And so eventually, when you show the universe its vibrations and its corresponding energy movements or lengths, and that is portrayed by the thoughts and physical actions, then eventually the universe provides the reality. But here's the thing is, you have to understand that it is the fourth dimension. So what does that mean? The fourth dimension means is time is irrelevant. Irrelevant. So what that means is, for us, because time is linear, like we give the vibrations, and the issue is we don't know how long it takes for the universe to eventually portray this reality towards us. We don't know, because the universe is essentially, or the higher universe is the fourth dimension, and time is irrelevant. So if you would like to, provide, let's say, vibrations and energies to become a millionaire or politician or a businessman, we don't know how long it takes for that reality to eventually manifest itself. And that's simply because it's coming from the higher universe. It's coming from the from the superior side. You can explain this like God. You can say this is the universe. You can say that like it's the multiverse, like whatever it is. The point is that time is irrelevant, and so for you to basically realize that reality and wait for that reality to manifest itself to you is a big question mark. But here's the issue is, because we live in a three-dimensional plane, in a three-dimensional reality, a lot of people don't have the patience to wait for that reality to manifest itself. So how does that work then? Because like, imagine you want to become a millionaire and you send out all these vibrations. Like, you do the actions, you do the roadmaps, you create routines, you build your startup, you spend endless hours, sleepless hours, like working on your business, and you send out all these vibrations, which is absolutely fantastic. But then, let's say after 2 to 3 years, you're like, oh shit, I don't see any results. Where are my results? And it's because the universe hasn't unfolded that reality just yet. Because remember, time is irrelevant for the fourth dimension, so it hasn't unfolded that reality yet. So the point is that you just haven't been patient enough. And so what happens is, after 2 to 3 years, you're like, oh shit, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this business anymore. Or maybe I shouldn't become a footballer. Maybe I shouldn't become a doctor. And suddenly you change your vibrations. You decide to do a different type of vibration. You just change it. So instead of, pursuing your dream of becoming a doctor, you just wake up and decide to become a footballer. And and or decide to become a teacher, for example. And the point is, like, changing your career path, there's nothing wrong with it, but I want you to understand that if you truly desire to become a specific, specific occupational identity, then you should understand that it takes some time for you to manifest it, and it takes some time because the universe has to unfold itself. It has to do its mechanics and creation in order for that reality to manifest. And I don't know how long it takes for you, but what I can explain is that the higher the energy is, like if becoming a millionaire requires a lot of bloody energy, then it's gonna take longer for that reality to unfold. If it's, for example, you want to become, I don't know, like somebody who cleans pools, and no offense against people cleaning pools, that type of reality doesn't require a lot of energy from the universe. And so literally you can see the result, let's say within a few weeks, because the frequency of energy is not that high. And so that's basically how it works. Is if you want to become a millionaire, that requires a lot of bloody energy, a lot of vibrations you have to give out to the universe. But you have to constantly give vibrations towards the universe, and you have to eventually be super patient until the universe does whatever it does and creates this reality for you. And so this, ladies and gentlemen, is actually describing the law of attraction. If you guys have ever heard of this before, that is essentially the law of attraction. So if you would like to have a simple definition for it, is basically the universe listens and you speak. And so whatever it is, if you want to become, again, a millionaire or have some hell of a career, understand that the universe constantly listens. That's the mechanics of how the universe works. And if you're a person who's unsure what you want to become in life, then guess what? You're not going to do yourself a favor, because the universe is confused itself. The universe, remember, has infinite probability. It has every single type of reality already existing. And so if you yourself as an individual are unsure of who or what you want to become, then the universe itself is confused. It's confused to what type of reality it wants to show you. And so my point is that as an individual, if you strive for something, make sure that you strive consistently and with sheer focus, what I mentioned in the earlier video, and how important it is to basically have these two components, because without those, you're not going to achieve this as well. And so the point is, you need to have a pursuit, you need to have a purpose, and you need to have consistency and focus, so that eventually the universe, the God or the creator or the multiverse or the spaghetti boss or whoever you believe in, so that eventually once the energy is enough, the universe is basically essentially ready to provide that reality for you. And that's what you need to understand in order for you to become the best version of yourself. Bye bye.